Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. And of course, as promised earlier today, we have a very interesting discussion on several issues, all related to the health sector, moving from issues related to the holy month of Ramadan to the coronavirus pandemic and the heat wave. This and much more. We're delighted to be joined over the telephone by Dr. Amany Abou, professor at the Faculty of Medicine, Al Aini. Dr. Amany, a very good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Holy Ramadan for you and for all Egypt.
Likewise, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Doctor, let's start. Egypt is going through a bit of a heat wave at the moment and everyone is fasting. How do we deal with, the fast during such unpredictable hot weather?
Well, yes, it is, of course, it is going to be. I would like to advise that people drink more water when they are not fasting, so that they can cope with this hot weather, and try to avoid the sunshine for a long period.
Mm-hmm. Right. And how about the actual foods that we can eat during suhoor or during iftar? What would you advise this kind of food to be?
Of course, the best thing is the water. 60% of our body is water. So if we take the water, this will be very good. But sometimes I know that some people doesn't like, especially the females, they don't drink enough. We would like to make sure that they drink, and they drink any other juices they would prefer, but the water is very good.
Doctor, can we add things like cucumbers or mint or orange slices, lemon slices, etc. to water? Will it still be as beneficial?
They act as an antioxidant. Well, of course, it will not harm anything. And if people like to add this, so that they anything to drink, I mean, it's okay. We can add these stuff. I know that some researchers call that they act as an antioxidant, but even the normal water would be for me enough.
Right. Now that the weather is changing, we are now finally in the month of spring, in the season of spring, even though it's quite hot at the moment. But this has also had other effects with regards to, the coronavirus. We've seen the numbers of coronavirus infections in Egypt dropping significantly. Yes. Tell me a bit about this and how do you see Egypt dealing with the pandemic as the weather becomes warmer?
Well, I think now we had 2 weeks ago with a rapid change of the temperature. I mean, it was very cold and then it began to be very hot. And I might advise to people regarding this issue that they don't wear a very, very light clothes until the weather is stable.
Stable, yes.
To avoid having cold and flu-like symptoms. And we don't want to mix it up with the coronavirus.
Yes.
I know that the numbers are decreasing now, thanks God, in Egypt regarding the COVID-19, which is great with the hot weather too. But I think also it has related that we are mostly vaccinated. People are aware more of how the method of the transmission. But of course, the cases are decreasing. Let's hope to keep it like this. But at the meantime, we will try to keep a good health so that we don't catch influenza or cold.
Yes, indeed. As you said, the weather is still unpredictable.
It's
right.
Too unpredictable.
Yes.
Yeah, and people with allergy, they may suffer from coughing during this weather.
Right. Doctor, let's talk a bit about, the way that Egypt tackled the coronavirus pandemic. How do you see the vaccination drive? Lots of people have already received their first shots and second shots, and the older age groups have even received their booster shots. How important was the vaccination drive and the speed with which the vaccines were dispersed and dispensed in combating this the latest wave of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think Egypt did very well regarding the pandemic of COVID-19. Starting from prevention, starting from treatment, starting from also educating the public.
Yes.
So I think we did really good, and although we had, of course, some cases of fatalities, some cases of sick people, but at the end we were better than many other countries. So I'm really proud of what Egypt did. Regarding the vaccination, it was really available, and different types of vaccines, and the doctors giving the vaccines are aware of everything. They could help the people. So they were very well educated regarding the vaccine they are giving, and I think it was impressive. And now with the booster, I think they make it even more easier, that it is 2 months duration, and they can take it on any center. This also encourage people more to take the booster too, which is very nice.
Indeed. Right, Doctor, to be honest, over the last few weeks or so, lots of people have started, following in the likes of European countries that have, declared the end of the pandemic, gotten rid of their masks, their sanitizers, no more social distancing, and lots of people in Egypt have followed suit. How do you see this concept of herd immunity? What needs to actually happen before a community or a society can reach a herd community? Shouldn't there be a certain percentage of the population vaccinated effectively to reach this kind of herd immunity like in European countries?
I know. COVID is a new disease. To answer these questions precisely is very hard, especially we don't know if we're going to have another wave or this is the last of our wave. We are following the other countries. Actually, there are cases now increasing worldwide. So I, as a doctor who works in intensive care and see people who suffer, I'm still saying we need to keep, when the waves are down like nowadays and we don't have a lot of cases and we are vaccinated, maybe this would help the people to ease a little bit on these symptoms. But if we are not vaccinated, still there is a threat of having a disease.
Indeed. Dr. Amany, yes. Yes, doctor. Let me ask you about vaccination for children, the younger age groups. How important is that? Some parents are still hesitant to vaccinate their teen children.
Yes, I know.
How important is it, and what does it mean to vaccinate that age group?
Well, I don't know. Well, let us talk about the children. I mean, the adolescents, which is starting from 16 or 18, I think we can vaccinate them. This is not a problem. Maybe the talk is about between the 5 years, which they started to do it abroad, until 12 years. Well, actually, it's risk-benefit. Kids are really having a mild disease. This is for sure. They are going to spread the infection. This is another, another part of the balance. This is why they vaccinate them. The guidelines worldwide, they do vaccinate the people and the children, and it's not hazardous. I think we can vaccinate. I mean, my daughter was 16 and she got the vaccine. Because I'm the one who believes in the vaccine.
Right.
So it's not really a risk for the kids to have.
Right, right. Doctor, let me ask you as well about, worldwide and other areas around the world, for example, Shanghai, China. We're seeing a resurgence of a very extreme wave of the Omicron variant, lots of infections. They've even resorted to shutting down, lockdowns, etc. again. What does this mean for other countries? Could this happen again for, all the other countries worldwide? Can we expect a similar scenario?
This is why, I think this is why in Egypt, until now some hospitals can receive a COVID-19, we are still alert as a doctors. I mean Egypt, and we are all as a National Health Service, as a university hospital, we are waiting and seeing what's going on. Because having another wave in China, having another diseases, Europe started having these cases, we are waiting. We are waiting tentatively. I mean, we are waiting and seeing, is Egypt, how it's going to have. We are testing people, everyone has got a cold, we are still a suspect for us, so we are alert.
Even though the latest variant of the coronavirus was much lighter, lots of people say it was just like the common flu. Do you think that in the future waves of the virus can be similar? Will it turn into a situation where it's like the seasonal influenza and people just get their shots and move on? Do you see the virus weakening to that sort of virus, or is this still early to predict?
Well, this is our hope that it's going to be a normal, like a flu influenza virus. This is our hope, especially that the genetic variation like the Omicron got us weaker. So let us hope, this is what we think, that it's going to be even weaker. But as long as there is some healthy people might be affected and having the lung affection, and they may be endangering their life, we are, we are worried about this part. But our prediction is it's going to be lighter one, hopefully.
Hopefully, indeed. One final question, doctor, before I let you go. We've seen, as you said, rate of infections decreasing, but we've also seen mortality rates dropping significantly low as a result of the coronavirus. Is this because, medical practitioners have started to know how to treat symptoms and ailments that result of the infection, so we're seeing less deaths as a result of the coronavirus?
I think it's a different factor. People are vaccinated more, so they have some immune system. We are, as a doctor, aware more of the disease, so we diagnose it early, and definitely we start the treatment early. And I would like to say that Egypt is one of the countries who got all the antiviral treatment for this disease. I mean, to treat it very early. And this is one of the best things we did in Egypt. It's amazing. You have all the antivirals.
Yes, absolutely. And this definitely helped Egypt in its fight against the pandemic.
Yes,
absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Amany Abou, Professor of the Faculty of Medicine, Australiani. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and your insight. And that's all we have for you today on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. We do hope you have enjoyed it. Join us again tomorrow just after 4 p.m. for a new edition with a new crew. Till then, my name is Angie Meher. Thank you very much for watching.